And now for our feature presentation.
The night I found out about Chadwick Boseman's death, I was in my room. The notification came on my phone stating that he had passed. Still to this day, when I get a news notification, I fear that another actor I adore will die. I called my cousin, and we just spent the whole night talking about his performance and how it would affect the MCU. Whenever you have someone who passed, someone you adored, for the first half of the grieving process, it's going to be extremely difficult to forget that they are gone. You soon learn to live with it. The final stage of grief is acceptance. Boseman's death has been something I have learned to live with. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever brought me back to the very first stage when I found out about his death. Ryan Coogler addresses T'Challa's death in the first scene of the film, a one-shot scene that truly shows this will be one of the MCU's most emotional movies. The film never takes Boseman's death for granted or uses it to manipulate emotions. The film gracefully tackles the legacy he left behind on-screen and off-screen. It's very delicate with the situation. Never does the movie bring up T'Challa's death every single scene to drive home the fact that he's gone. His death is just a major theme of the film, but it's put into the background of the overall movie when his passing isn't being discussed. The writing of this film perfectly balances the emotional weight of the King's passing and the other elements of the film. The quiet moments in the movie is where it all truly excels on delivering a satisfying, if not uneven, story. The movie is a mess. There are many moments in the film where they jump to place. While it's not confusing, it is a lot to focus on. Martin Freeman's character has a side plot on his own, and it never truly mixes in well with the rest of the film. Riri Williams, played by Dominic Thorne, is very fun and eccentric as the comic relief in the movie. While the entire film is mostly serious, her delivery of lines help bring some light laughter that was needed to not make this movie entirely sad. Namor is a villain who may not be as interesting as Killmonger, but he has a lot of badass moments and some of the better backstories of the MCU lineup of villains. The film brings around powerful performances for all the previous actors that worked alongside with Chadwick Boseman in the previous Marvel movies. You can hear the pain, the grievance, the anger in their voices whenever their characters are showing strong emotion. It creates this bridgeway between what the actors and characters on screen are sharing. Letitia Wright's Shuri is without a doubt one of my favorite women in the MCU now. Her character arc in this film is some of the best work in any Marvel movie I have seen recently. I will get more into that when we talk about spoilers. I released my review of the original Black Panther before this new installment. To understand what I'm about to say about the sequel, I suggest checking out my previous video where I reviewed the original film. But I will say, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, in my opinion, is a superior sequel. The action blends in better with the story, the score is equally as perfect as the first film. It's an emotional roller coaster that brings out some of the best performances in the entire MCU to date. It's a mess, but an emotional, powerful mess. We're gonna get into spoilers. I'm gonna give everyone a 10-second head start to click off the video. The death of T'Challa kicks off Shuri's arc of trying to stay calm while burying her grief for her loss. It's not until the halfway mark where the queen dies and her character takes a twisted turn. The movie puts a lot of weight on the audience while Shuri grieves over her brother. It was unexpected to see the film proceed to kill off her mother and put an even bigger weight on us as the audience and this character's shoulder. For the rest of the film, she has external and internal struggles on if she should lead like her noble brother, who spares the people who do wrong, or like her cousin Killmonger, someone who uses their hatred to bypass thoughts of giving others second chances. This character arc is what made me realize that this movie was genuinely crafted with much care to the actors on set, the storyline, and Chadwick Boseman as well. May he rest in peace.
Chadwick he's a really smart, interesting, dynamic guy, and I think he was not overwhelmed, but very surprised and somewhat taken aback by the amount of love. It ceased to become just about how well he inhabited the role and all that stuff. It's become part of our culture just as a symbol.
This welcome is one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced.